welcome to Angry Buzzard Autos. Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well. This video stems from two visits to North and Northeast Texas dealerships displaying the 2020 Corvette to the public. I've got to say, you have to see this car in person. Just like a Lamborghini, Ferrari, Pagani, whatever, to appreciate it and to really understand the value of this car, you have to go and sit in it and just be one with the car. You will instantly see the value of this 2020 Corvette. It is fantastic. And personally, I hope it kicks butt on all these other supercars. And we've already seen from a lot of YouTubers, when they hop these things up, oh my God, they are stinking fast. So let's get into my little videos and clips of this thing. And maybe you'll see something you didn't notice before, or it'll help you get a little bit better sense of this wonderful car. As you probably already know, the base price for this Corvette is right at about $60,000. The curb weight is hovering at about 3,600 pounds. It has a 6.2 liter V8 that's hitting about 490-ish horsepower with about 465 foot-pounds of torque. It is said to go about 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, has 15 city, 27 highway, and it has a 12.6 cubic foot worth of storage. The storage capacity is pretty close to what this refrigerator holds. Most people really enjoy the interior of the new Corvette. Takes a little time getting used to that steering wheel though. They like the console pretty well and the seats, and the view to the rear is very nice too. Big and small people are able to get into this car without a problem. I watched them at the car shows. Despite having the top off, I think the top off was more for liability reasons, but even my wife could see out of the front of this car very easily. So next, let's do a quick comparison of the Corvette to three other cars: Aventador, McLaren GT, and Ferrari 458. I have compared it to the Aventador, or Lamborghinis anyway, and other people have compared it to the Ferrari 458, which I don't really agree with. And then there's other people who have compared it, and I do agree with, the McLaren GT. So let's see what this looks like. I've got some comparisons here, and let's check it out. See what you think. I first let you look at side views of each of these cars so you can kind of get acclimated as to what you're looking at for this visual comparison. Your Ferrari 458, and I've stacked the cars on top of each other so that you can start getting a better point of view. You'll see that the back end of the Corvette looks similar to the McLaren GT. At the door, that looks similar to the Aventador. The front also looks very similar to the McLaren GT. And you'll see that above the wheel well, the front wheel well, that really doesn't look like any of the cars. But, you know, you do have trunk space up there, so that's, or frunk space, so that's very nice. Okay, there's one thing in styling that I really am not fond of for the 2020 Corvette, and that is the rear end. To me, from the license plate and kind of below the taillights all the way down, not the greatest design in the world. I've already heard that people like TJ Hunt and whomever are restylizing or putting on really nice diffusers for these cars. So let's hope that happens, because it's not the greatest design. It's nice, but it's just not the greatest. Again, I've got some pictures here of each car so that you can start getting acclimated as to what they look like. Here's the Ferrari 458, the Aventador LP700, I believe, and the new McLaren GT, which the Corvette looks a lot alike. So here they are. The 458, not even close, but the Vette looks mostly like the Aventador and the McLaren GT. And as far as I'm concerned, the main rear area really does have design features of both of those two cars, but the McLaren GT I think is a lot closer considering how the exhaust tips are on either side of the McLaren GT, just like the Corvette. Moving to the engine bays, here's the Corvette, and it's very nice. Your McLaren GT, can't see the motor at all, but good trunk space. And here's the Lamborghini Aventador. Pretty cool, looks a lot like the Corvette. And finally, the Ferrari 458. So let's compare each of these. The GT, not even close. So the McLaren's out. The Ferrari on the upper right, yeah, not so much the same because of the space behind the motor doesn't even exist on the Ferrari. So I'd say in this case the Corvette looks more like the Aventador without really thinking too deeply about it, knowing that you've got tons of motors still back behind that Aventador engine. Quickly looking at the front of the Corvette, you've got headlights that are going to look like the McLaren GT, and the whole front bumper area looks very much like the McLaren GT. Although the Aventador is pretty close too with the sharp angles. So those two cars are pretty close. The Ferrari, not close at all. So that one's out again. So which of these cars does the Corvette look the most alike? It just might be the McLaren GT with a lot of mixing in the Aventador. Now I compare the Corvette to the best sports performance cars of 2020. Pause this screen if you want to look at it in detail. So we have the Toyota Supra, the Nissan GT-R, BMWs like the M4, M2, M5, Lotus Evora, Audi R5 and 6, Mercedes, of course, like the AMGs, and the Porsches, such as the Cayman and Carrera, and so forth. Comparing the Corvette to cars like these should immediately show you that giving a base price of $60,000 will really sell this car and exceed these other cars in sales while meeting and beating a lot of these cars' performance capabilities. You know, this car is very good looking. The 2020 Corvette has fantastic similarities to super high dollar cars. Furthermore, the only other car made in America, for the most part, that is in this ballpark is the Ford GT, costing what, $250,000 to $500,000? The Corvette is something that people are attracted to. So this is it. This is our new great sports car from America. And so people are going to gravitate towards this car so well, as you've already seen. So it's just a really cool car. Like I said, it is attracting a lot of attention, as exemplified by one showing up at this last car show in Saxe that I got a video of. So, man, enjoy it. At this particular car show, the Corvette was really ogled over as much, if not maybe even more, than the Audi R8, the Ferrari, and the Lamborghinis. So people really enjoyed this car, And when you look at it, you know, for me, I look at the rear end right here, no big deal. It's a very awesome car. So here I'll show a couple of pictures of some of the people standing around talking. There were people going by this car a lot. Hey, well, thank you so much for checking out this video on the 2020 Corvette. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe. And y'all have a great day. Thank you so much. I will talk to you later. Bye.